2 a.m. on May 20th, 2026. I will now call to order this meeting of the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners. Lieutenant Tully, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jenkins-Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Artiga?
Here.
Commissioner McVeigh?
Here.
Commissioner Brown?
Present.
And Mayor Spencer is not here.
Okay.
Here she
If
comes.
you-
Here she comes. Good morning. Morning. Morning.
Mayor Spencer will call and roll.
Here.
Thank you.
This is the first time we've started on time. Excellent.
Now, if you are able, please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. So now we'll have the approval of the May 6th, 2026 and May 11th, 2026 minutes.
I'll make that motion.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Voice vote.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Our first item on the agenda is the approval of our meeting minutes. We've already done that. Okay, we got a second. Moving forward. All right. Committee reports. We'll have the labor management report by Commissioner Brown. Please provide the labor management.
Yes. The Labor and Management Committee held a meeting since the last board meeting on May 12th, 26 at 10 a.m. here at the police headquarters. Committee members Sarah Koziaki, do that right? Chief Robert Tracy, Lieutenant Demetrius Elston, and Police Officer Mark Garcia were present. Police Officers Association Business Manager Joe Steiger, Sherry Smith, Jerry Baumgartner, Amy Hoings were also in attendance. The committee began discussions regarding the Professional Licensed Program Manual. Sherry Smith, Supervisor of the Private Security Division, provided an overview of the two-year collaborative effort between the department and St. Louis County to revise and modernize the manual. The committee reviewed the proposed updates and initiated discussions on incorporating Rule 7 provisions and recent.
And really hats off to everybody at the AG's office as well. We'll have our next meeting on Friday at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortega. Next, Commissioner McVeigh, would you please provide the Budget and Finance and Audit Committee report?
Ma'am, Madam Vice President, thank you. I have nothing to report since our last board meeting when I did my report. Our next meeting will be May the 21st at 2:30. That's all I have.
Thank you. I will now move to our next agenda item, new business. Our first item of new business is a resolution to amend the bylaws adding Legal Compliance Director Erica Zaza to the Litigation Committee. Lieutenant Tully, please read the resolution.
This is resolution number 2026-21. Whereas the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners has determined it to be in the best interest of the board to adopt the following resolution, and whereas the bylaws of the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners previously established the litigation committee to assist the board and board general counsel with matters related to litigation, legal strategy, and associated legal oversight. And whereas the board recognizes the importance of ensuring the litigation committee includes the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department personnel with expertise in legal compliance, policy implementation, and administrative oversight. And whereas the Legal Compliance Director, Erica Zaza, has demonstrated experience and expertise in legal compliance matters affecting the operations and governance of the department and board. And whereas the board finds it beneficial and appropriate to add Legal Compliance Director Erica Zaza as a member of the Litigation Committee in order to support the committee's work and assist with legal compliance, coordination, and oversight. And whereas the board wishes to amend the bylaws, which requires 3 concurring votes to effect this change to the composition of the membership of the litigation committee Be it resolved, the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners hereby amends the bylaws to add the department's legal compliance director as a member of the litigation committee effective immediately. Be it further resolved that legal compliance director Erica Zaza shall serve the litigation committee as directed by the board and the board general counsel.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution to amend the bylaws adding legal compliance director Erica Zaza
I'll make that.
to the litigation committee?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by.
Second that.
Can I just, I'm getting notifications that the doors are locked. If we could have the doors unlocked for the general public or members of my staff to come in. It sounds like the outside doors are locked. And if I could get, thank you. If we could just have a little bit of clarification on the kind of work she'll do in that capacity, would be helpful.
On the litigation committee?
Correct.
So the way the structure is set up, you have your directors that each have their own committee that are chief appointees and board appointees as well. So, you know, that, since she's the legal compliance director, that's her committee is to be on. She's attended all the meetings, participated in the meetings, been a part of our discussions, helps us resolve, as Commissioner Ortega said, and this is just formally making a part of her position and her part of the committee.
And she can vote as well?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, she can vote.
It is moved and second to approve the resolution to amend the bylaws adding legal compliance director Erica Zaza to the litigation committee. Is there any additional discussion? If there's no further discussion, Lieutenant Tully, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jenkins Gray.
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega.
Aye.
Commissioner McVeigh.
Aye.
Mayor Spencer.
Present.
It's 3 ayes, 1 present, ma'am.
The motion to approve the resolution to amend the bylaws adding legal compliance director Erica Zaza to the litigation committee passes. The next item of new business is a resolution to approve certain contracts. Tim Sullivan with Budget and Finance is here to answer any questions. We will discuss each of these agreements, and then at the end, we will consider a resolution authorizing all the contracts. Mr. Sullivan, will you please tell the board about each of the contracts and agreements?
Sure. The first one is an addendum with Regis. It's to add the CrowdStrike service to the cybersecurity platform for the IT department. There's no additional budgetary impact since it was requested in last year's budget. And the second is a contract with Sparrowhawk. This is a donation by the St. Louis Police Foundation. It detects drones in flight in the city of St. Louis by use of radar.
No effect to the...
No effect, though. It's a donation from the foundation strictly.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Is there any discussions concerning these agreements from the board? Okay. If not, we will proceed to the resolution to approve the contracts.
I'll make that motion that we approve the contracts, or the resolution.
I'll second.
Lieutenant Tully, please read the resolution.
This is resolution number 2026-20, whereas the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners has determined it to be in the best interest of the board to adopt the following resolution, and the board has reviewed certain contracts, agreements, and memorandums of understanding as it is May 20th, 2026, board meeting, and whereas the board has approved the agreements which have been attached hereto in Exhibit A and authorized the Chief of Police to execute the agreements on behalf of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and be it resolved the agreements hereto incorporated in Exhibit A are approved by the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners, and be it further resolved that the Chief of Police shall be authorized to execute the agreements attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit A.
Right. Now, is there a motion to approve the resolution approving certain contracts?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll re-second it.
Thank you. Okay. It is moved and seconded to approve the resolution approving certain contracts. Is there any discussion? If there's no further discussion, Lieutenant Tully, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jenkins Gray.
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega.
Aye.
Commissioner McVeigh.
Aye.
Mayor Spencer.
Present.
The
1
motion,
present, ma'am.
the motion to approve the resolution approving certain contracts passes. We will now move to our next agenda item, the chief's report.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Chief.
Just reporting out, I've reported out, I think, last week or the week before, just go over the homicide numbers, which all cities in the United States actually get measured on. We had our first quarter report on our crime numbers, and what I failed to mention last week or the week before, and I apologize, we're having so many meetings in a row, we actually tied for the second lowest homicide numbers in 36 years after the first quarter of 2026. And these are some of the things that we report out to the media. That doesn't seem to get any traction. I think it's well worth repeating and continue to talk about some of these things. Right now, at this time, we're at 40 murders for the year, which is 12 less than last year, which is at 52. Last year's numbers, we finished the year with the lowest in over 20 years. So we are making progress year to year. In 2024, we were at 67. In 2023, we were at 64. In 2022, we were at 67. And in 2021, we were at 72. So you're seeing a lot of great work that's being done by the men and women of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. And then we keep trying to drive the number down through good work, looking at National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, get the trigger pullers off the street, get our clearance rates up where it's all at 100% clearance rates, which includes solving murders from this year and also in years past. So great job by our detectives and the work that they do, and working with our community, because clearance rates are really about cooperation with the community. That's not acceptable for violence. They're coming forward, they're working with us and the Circuit Attorney's Office to get these clearances in rate, so those people that are causing harm to our community are taken off the street so they can't do further damage. Our overall numbers were down 3% in overall crime from last year, but we're also down, I always use 2022 as a benchmark, we're down almost 40% citywide in overall crime from where we were in 2022. Downtown, where we hear a lot about the entertainment district coming about, these are things that I hope can build off some of the success that we've been doing as a police department in our strategies, and a lot of strategies come right out of this room, which is our CompStat room that we do weekly meetings on top of our executive management meetings 3 days a week. So we're down 61% from where we were in 2022 in overall crime downtown. We're down 50% from 2022 in downtown West. And then if you go to Midtown, we're down 52%, in Central West End, 44%. Because we do talk about tourism, businesses. These are the business areas where they actually support the city, and without these businesses, we can't have these programs to the tax base to take care of the rest of the city and the programs throughout. So I just want to mention that, but overall, we're down over 40% citywide. So it's not only happening in the neighborhoods, it's happening in our areas that we certainly need to build upon, and that entertainment district that we're hearing about is certainly going to help us build off some things and really take us to the next level. I was just at the St. Louis Sports Commission this morning, just finished up a meeting. There's a lot of good things in the hopper that we're bidding for, and in some of the things that we've already done, and the amount of money that it shows that sports teams bring into this city. If we can continue to build as events that Frozen Four, we had the ice skating championships, we're going to have a prelude to World Cup with a Bosnian team against Panama. So we got a lot of exciting things happening, including this weekend. Annie Malone was a great success. There was no major incidents reported from this weekend. Thousands of visitors poured into downtown over the weekend for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Battlehawks, and our central officers were recognized at the Cardinals game yesterday for their outstanding work in 2025, and we had an excellence award ceremony inside of Busch Stadium, and I appreciate the mayor and the rest of the board members for being there to support our men and women and the work that they do. Recognize it, and then for their families especially, and they were able to throw out the first pitch, the Police Officers of the Year, Detectives of the Year. So all in all, a lot of positive things happening in our department, and as we know, Fast Track we talked about was happening on the day that we had our last meeting, and then we had 130 individuals show up at our police academy, which is not just taking applications and hoping people show up. We actually had the bodies show up, and they took 3 parts of the test. And so they take the technical part, they take the physical part, and then they do their interview, oral interview, and on top of it, we do a short background check to make sure, and we're going to do a full background check as they move forward in the process. 105 are still in the process. They continue to call. Sarah Koziaki and her team right now are working on that. We just put 21 into the academy on Monday, and on June 12th, we're going to be graduating 21, coming out to get them back on the street. So we're going in the right direction as far as recruitment, and I hope we're really going to build off this fast track, because if we can get them in, and whatever the amount is, and if it's a very large amount, we'll make it work and get them right in the academy to start trying to build up our budgeted strength. So with that, I'll open up to any questions.
I have a question. So you said there's 21 and all coming out in June. We're putting 21 in now.
There's just one in Monday.
One in Monday, so that does not include the 105.
No. So the 105 are additional, and right now, they're all working through the process, Sarah Koziaki and her team, and as well as, you got a communications with Mitch McCoy and his team, did a tremendous job, and a lot of people pitched in. I think it went really well, because we're able to change the business model. We're not just taking applications, we're able to streamline this. It's something that, not to anybody's fault, but, having a civil service process, having a charter process, sometimes slowed us down, where in the past, we always had waiting lists. So they were put in place to protect the process. But in this day and age, we have to look at the business model, and certainly, I believe it's a success, and I hope we can build off that to get as many in that are eligible to come in, Commissioner.
Chief, I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on the incident yesterday, and what is the protocol to everyone involved with that? For, the officer-involved shooting, what is the protocol that you go through when the officer is
Well, first, you make sure that you check on everybody, the officers that are involved in it, like we always do. Unfortunately, you never want to have a shooting incident, an officer-involved shooting. Our officers get put sometimes in situations where they have to take that action. Yesterday was downtown, and there's a lot of video downtown. We have body-worn cameras. We have in-car cameras. Our Force Investigations Unit goes out. They're independent of our Homicide Division. They're in place. They do the investigation. The police chief, when I am here, if I'm not out of town, I will be at every officer-involved shooting any time of the day. I'm not there to do the immediate investigation. My job is to make sure that I'm checking on the situation, to make sure I'm looking for civil unrest or anything else that's going on so I can get situation awareness. My first calls go to the board, to the mayor, to make sure they're updated. Yesterday, CO Ben Johnson, I called when I was on the scene. Wanted to make sure he gave you that message, Mayor, and then just make sure that Colin Tully has the information. He can get that to the board. It's very difficult for me to make a lot of calls when I'm on the scene, so I hit individuals to be my proxy to do type of things like that, because I got to pay attention what's going on. Then I usually call stakeholders in each community, depending on where it's at, to make sure that they know to get it out to their constituency as quick as possible. I can only reveal so much. If there's an injury to our officers, that I'll probably go to the hospital. I'll call a press conference. If there's no injury to the officers, I think the media is aware that I will let my Force Investigations Unit with Mitch McCoy do the communications. You got to remember that sometimes I'm going to be a decision maker in the process later on down the road. So I get the initial information, but I do not interview the officers. I allow that to be happening and the investigation, so I don't taint the investigation as a police chief. I will be heavily involved in the accountability to everything that we do, but certainly you do not want the police chief in the middle of that in the beginning. So that's really high level, Commissioner.
No, I was thinking more of the health of the officer that was involved in the
Okay.
So I'm sorry about that.
Right. Okay. So,
No, but I'm glad to hear all that.
well, we also want to, listen, they rendered first aid immediately
Right.
to the suspect, and then to get him to the ambulance, and the suspect succumbed to his injuries. The other thing is that our officers immediately, we make sure that we have EMS check their heart rate, to make sure the high blood pressure, make sure
Right.
that we're looking at them. And then afterwards, they do get interviewed. There is a process of what's going on. We have to get preliminary information, and at a certain point, they have due process of their rights. But mental health and their welfare, we do look at the officers, make sure that they speak to certified social worker that's assigned to the police department to make sure that if they're going to come back right away, we've got to make sure they're in the right frame of mind, and if there's anything else that they want to make sure, because it's a traumatic incident. I've handled hundreds of officer-violent shootings, unfortunately, when it has to come to that in my career between 4 different police departments. And police officers, they're affected big time by having to be involved and having to take the action that these officers had to take yesterday. And it's certainly, we had to make sure they're in a good place of understanding where they're at. And, it does play on people's, being to a traumatic event like that. We got to make sure that we're looking out for their welfare as well. And that's certainly something we do. And maybe we didn't do it very well back when I came on the job. But certainly we're cognizant of it now to make sure that we're doing it the right way, and we're always going to look to improve on that, Commissioner.
Thank you.
If not, thank you, Chief Tracy, for your update, for your report.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move to the next agenda item, which is announcements from members of the Board of Police Commissioners. Does anyone have any announcements?
I don't have an announcement, but I would just like to mention again that I think it's incredibly important that the board here have a public hearing for the public to weigh in. I get questions, I'm in the public every single day, multiple times a day, and I get this question from members of the community on a regular basis when the police board is going to have a way for the public to weigh in. And I just want to re-up that for the board and strongly recommend, I'm absolutely in favor that the city will support that effort by helping find logistical locations or anything that the city needs to do to facilitate that. I know that there's been some discussion about late June. I think that's far too late. I'd really like us to consider repurposing the June 3rd meeting for the purpose of hearing from the public.
And so, Mayor, the board, we do agree with you, and especially me. I have a personal interest in complete transparency and engagement with the community. And for the record, we had originally scheduled that we would have one for today. And unfortunately, because of schedules, we could not do it today. But we are planning at our next regularly scheduled public comments meeting, which I believe is going to be our second meeting in June, that we'll be moving forward with some type of public comment meeting during that particular meeting. And we are going to try and accommodate and do it in the afternoon and not the morning, because we understand that the community, most people work and would not be able to make a 9:00 a.m. meeting. So we will try and accommodate something in the afternoon so that residents and business owners can attend that public comments meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments from the board? Any other announcements? I have one, and that is tying in, so that will be coming out soon. We believe that it is important for the community to have a voice in helping shape what this looks like going forward. Additional information regarding how to access and participate will be forthcoming, and we will, of course, get that out and market it and make sure everybody knows about it. Okay. Are there any other announcements? Okay. If not, then I will move to our next agenda item, a vote to enter executive session. Is there a motion to enter into executive
Yes,
session for
I'll
the
make that
purposes
motion.
of RSMO 6.610.021 subsection 1 passes. We will now adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for coming.